Respected dear family members, my pranams to you. In the last two classes, we were discussing about how to learn Vedas and how to learn Ramayana. In the first class, I clearly explained to you that mind produces the thoughts, thoughts produces the action, action gives you the result, and from the result comes the reward. Mind, thoughts, action, result, reward. Good mind produces good thoughts, from good thoughts good action comes, from good action good result, and from good result good reward will be coming. Exactly in the same way, we have got bad mind, bad thoughts, bad action, bad result and bad reward. Ultimate aim of a Hindu life or an Indian message is nothing but asato ma satgamaya, changing the bad mind to good mind, bad thoughts to good thoughts, bad action to good action, bad result to good result, and bad reward to good reward. So for changing the mind from bad to good, we have to listen different type of messages, that too continuously every day. Just like we need a daily bath, daily breakfast, daily lunch, daily supper, daily sleep, and daily changing the dresses once used, our mind also needs daily refreshment is needed for the mind. So we have to listen the messages. The messages are available directly from the Vedas. These messages are applicable for anybody in the world. And from Ramayana, as I told you in the previous day, it gives you the experiences of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, Sita, Ahalya, and so on. Their experiences can be extrapolated for our living condition in the 21st century, and we can adopt and adapt many messages from their life experiences. So Ramayana does not give any other stories. It gives directly the story of a family. It gives directly the story of a society too. So Rama's family and Rama's kingdom as a king, how he ruled his brothers, his mothers, and his teachers and his enemies, how he dealt with. This is given directly by Valmiki when he happened to see a bird falling from the tree shot by a hunter. The shoka became the shloka, and Ramayana was born. So it gives the history and historical concept of a kingdom, a society, a family, and also the individuals. Now coming to Mahabharata. You know Mahabharata, 1,25,000 shlokas. When it was written, nobody knows. It can be at the end of Kali Yuga or something like that. And now Kali era is 5114th year. So about 5114 years. Before that, if Mahabharata composed, it may be in this form or some addendum might have taken place. Whatever may be the thing, we need not bother about it. Why I said we need not bother about it? Because the content of everything is important when we live in the 21st century. Whether it is told in 10 years back or 100 years back or 1000 years ago, or even from time immemorial. When it is said, where it is said, even who said and to whom it is told, less important. What is said and how they are relevant for making our life useful, fruitful, purposeful and meaningful. That is important. So Mahabharata has got three things. Experiences of Pandava. That is the most important. Experiences of Kauravas, experiences of Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Kundi, Gandhari, Draupadi. If we consider ourselves in their position and creating an empathetical situation, then we will understand what we should do, when we should do, where we should do, how we should do, and when we should not do, where we should not do, and what we should not do also. So instead of reading an ordinary book giving you the messages, the experiences of individuals will be excellent for us. Whenever I or you teach in a class, if you go on giving the messages, it will not be that tasty for the students. But suppose you are giving all these experiences of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, you give the experiences of General Electrical Company CEO Jack Welch or Immelt, experiences of Swami Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, experiences of Socrates, it will be easier for the listener to understand that. So here in Mahabharata, experiences are given on the one hand, and the messages given by one character of Mahabharata to other character. So the messages are given. Other than these experiences and messages, the third part in Mahabharata, huge number of stories are also given. The stories are told by great rishis for convincing the listener. So stories are there in Mahabharata, which is not there in Ramayana, and messages are there in Mahabharata, which is also there in Ramayana, and experiences are there in Mahabharata, which is also there in Valmiki Ramayana. So remember that Mahabharata, which has got 1,25,000 slokas, might have composed 5,000 years or more ago, or even later. We need not bother about that. So Mahabharata gives you some example. I shall narrate now. You should also take about 25 experiences, 25 incidents in Mahabharata. That means you started understanding Mahabharata. Reading all the 1,25,000 slokas may not be that easy also. So what is our role? We should know what is meant by Veda by learning the messages, nearly 100 messages. Even one need not learn the Sanskrit by heart. If you are learning, it is excellent. Similarly, I told you in the previous day 25 events in Ramayana. What happened to Dasharatha, what happened to Kaikeyi, why Mandara advised that, and what happened to Ravana, what happened to Vibhishana, what happened to Bali, and so on. 25 experiences from Ramayana means you could learn Ramayana, you have learned Ramayana. Exactly like that. 25 or 50 experiences, events from Mahabharata. Say for example, Gandhari lived by tying her eyes in the name of Pativratya. Since her husband did not have the eyesight, since her husband was blind, Gandhari thought she will also tie her eyes, close her eyes permanently. So that may be good as far as a wife is concerned, but that is not good as far as a mother is concerned. So the relative merits and demerits are given through Gandhari. If the mother is closing her eyes, what will happen to her children? And remember that the whole family of Kauravas got ruined exclusively because of Gandhari. Gandhari did not nurture good quality in her son. And the bad qualities were not erased off. It was the dharma of mother, Matra Dharma, to give the body and a good mind, good body and good mind for her children. It is the dharma of the mother, Matra Dharma, to make her children good and great. So remember that. The Kundi Devi, she was a widow and she has got 3 children of her own, 2 children from from Madri, the second wife of Pandu. But she nurtured, she looked after the 5 children in the excellent possible way. So they could survive in this world with dharmic values, value-based life. Pandavas became the embodiment of values which can be copied even by anybody in this world, exclusively because of the quality of the mother. So how a mother should look after her children. This is what is given here. And Dharmaputra is the embodiment of Dharma. Remember, Dharmaputra has got all good qualities that can expect in a human being on the surface of the globe here. But still one wrong thing he did. He knew pretty well that a king should not go to a prostitute. He knew pretty well that a king should not become a drunkard. He knew pretty well that a king should not play the dice. But still he played the dice. And that too knowing pretty well that that was cheating. A king should not do that one. Dharmaputra did. He played the dice and failed, surrendered and pledged everything that a king should never have done. With all the good qualities in Dharmaputra, this bad quality was there. That created problem not only for him but also for his brother's wife and mother. They had to they have to live in the forest for 13 years. When Dharmaputra did a wrong thing, only his wife protested that. Draupadi protested. And none of the 4 brothers protested. When the brothers kept quiet, the elder brother did the wrong thing. Consequence was that all the 5 had to live in the forest for 13 years. When your brothers do something bad, if you either keep quiet or you do not react, then you will also become the sufferer. So you have to protest, you have to keep away from that, and you have to teach your elder brother the correct lesson of how to live perfectly. So merely having the name that Dharmaputra does not mean he will be the embodiment of Dharma. And also remember, Dharmaputra did the bad thing, others had also to suffer. And you know, Shakuni played the dice in the most crooked way. And Kauravas supported, and a reverse also happened. Kauravas got killed in the battlefield. Shakuni also died. So this experience, whenever you are following the pathway of a wrongdoer, he will die and you will also die. That is what is happening in the smugglers list, terrorist list, Maoist list. What is happening? People, blind people, adharmic people are leading the society. Those people will be dying and the followers will also be ending up their life. So remember, here you know Bhishma knew pretty well about Dharma, but he fought the battle for adharma, knowing the Dharma and keeping with the adharma, knowing the Dharma and practicing adharma. That created problem for Bhishma. He had to lie on the bed of arrows. So this is applicable for us also. I know the Dharma, but I behave in the adharmic way. I will have to suffer. Merely knowing the Dharma does not mean that I will become great and good. Dronacharya knew pretty well as a teacher what is meant by Guru, what is meant by Guru Dakshina. He should not have taken Guru Dakshina from Ekalavya, because he did not teach Ekalavya, but from Ekalavya he took the thumb as Guru Dakshina. There may be other reason or justification for that in Mahaabharata war. But still, as a teacher, he did a wrong thing. He had to suffer in the battlefield. He had to die a pathetic death in the battlefield exclusively because of his own action. Duryodhana, what he faced? He faced the most deadly events in the battlefield. All his brothers died exclusively because of his bad dealings, bad deeds. None of the brothers opposed Duryodhana. They all kept with the Duryodhana. The final result, within 18 days, none existed on the world. Many kings supported Duryodhana. They also died. So when you support an adharma, the nature will be punishing you. It is not Duryodhana punishing you. Duryodhana did not punish Bhishma. Duryodhana did not punish Drona. But they all had to face the pathetic death exclusively because of their own action. Dharmaputra's problem was that he was dharmic in life, but in one place he got slipped. Many people ask me the question, it is told that Dharmaputra is the son of Yamadharma Raja. Think about it. Whether Yamadharma Raja, such a king is there, such a man is there, such a human being is there? Not at all. So Kundi prayed to Yamadharma Raja to get a son having full dharmic value. Kundi prayed to Vayuputra, the powerful torrential air. We in Vedas pray. Vayu is considered as a divine power. Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rudam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmam Avadu Tad Bhaktaram Avadu. This is the message given by Vedas that air is the God, it is divine. So when I pray to Lord Guruvayurappa or I pray to Tirupati Venkatesha for getting a good and great son, and if I got that son, I generally say that one, it is the prasadam of Lord Guruvayurappa, or it is a son given to me by Lord Guruvayurappa or Tirupati Venkatachalapati. So it is the prasadam. You know, air cannot produce a sperm for a woman. You know, the popes and the cardinals now started proving the scientific theory that God, Jehovah, cannot create a pregnancy in Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary got pregnant through the God. It is the most humbug story in the world. It is the most useless story in the world. Non-scientific, non-logical and irrational story. How can the God, which is not seen, not heard, and nothing can be perceived, that God creating an embryo in the womb of St. Mary is most unscientific thing. That the popes and others started accepting it. But still some people say God, as he is God, he can do everything. Then he should have rescued Jesus from the cross also. And he should have killed the Satan also. That God cannot create sperm and put in the womb of the woman or Virgin Mary. So here too I repeat the word, Indra, Vayu, Yamadharma Raja, they cannot give a sperm to Kundi for giving birth to 3 children. And remember, here these are partly making you understand through thinking. So the story of Pandava, the story of Kauravas, these are all irrelevant, whether it is history or story. But why Duryodhana suffered? Why Karna suffered? Why Dronacharya suffered? And take the experiences of all the people. You will get the correct messages from the experiences of others to adopt in your life and to lead a good life by changing the bad mind to good mind, bad thoughts to good thoughts, bad experience, bad action to good action, bad result to good result. That's the experience. Now messages are there. When Dhritarashtra was suffering from many psychological problems, mental tension, Vidura gave Viduropadesham. Bhishma gave Bhishmopadesham to Dharmaputra. Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And Lord Krishna gave messages to Uddhava Gita. And a variety of messages were given by Veda Vyasa to Dharmaputra and Pandavas. Kundi has also given messages to her children. So messages are given, hundreds and thousands of messages in par with the Vedic messages are given in Mahabharata. And for convincing the messages and for giving an elaborated experiences of the messages, all these people, Vedavyasa or Vidura or Bhishma, they give the messages, and as a continuation they narrate, they explain, and they give examples of these messages through stories. The stories of crow, stories of owl, stories of a mangur, and remember that stories of variety of jackal, stories of variety of animals are given in Mahabharata. But remember that it is addendum. It is the main story is Pandava and Kaurava story. Now I mean history. The historical story of Pandavas and Kaurava. For convincing Pandavas and Kauravas, many other heroes of Mahabharata used to give stories. That is why Mahabharata has got stories. But Mahabharata is not a story book. Mahabharata has got stories. Mahabharata is not merely a story book. It is a historical book. Hastinapura is a place near Delhi. Indraprastha is almost nearer to Delhi. And Pandavas and Kauravas lived, and they are historical figures. Maybe little bit addition of stories might have done. So still remember, stories are there in Mahabharata. My request to you that you should learn some stories. Merely reading is enough. About 25 to 50 stories, and get the feeling that what are the stories given in Mahabharata. Then about 25 experiences of Pandava and Kaurava, their parents, their relatives, and all the players, historical figures in Mahabharata, what they did and what they suffered, how their mind was, how their thoughts were, and how their actions were, how their results were, and how their reward. So analyze Bhishma Pitamaha, analyze Dronacharya, analyze Dharmaputra. You will definitely know that if you live like Bhishma Pitamaha, you will also have to get the experience of Bhishma Pitamaha. If you start selling black notes, currency notes printed in Pakistan or Bangladesh, whatever experience the earlier fellow had, you will also get the same experience. If somebody is doing a murder, the other murderers, whatever they got the punishment, this will also be getting almost the same thing. If you live in a dharmic life, you will be getting the comfort of dharmic life, the pleasure of dharmic life. If you live in a dharmic life, you will be getting the accordingly a dharmic life. So Vedas give you directly the messages, you should learn that. Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana gives you directly the experiences of the historical figures of Ramayana, and also the messages given by different players in Ramayana are there. In Mahabharata, experiences of people are there, messages of the people are there, and also the stories given by these characters are there. So Ramayana has got messages, experiences, and stories. Mahabharata has got experiences and messages and stories. Ramayana has got experiences and messages. Veda has got directly the messages. Thus we have learned something about Vedas, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Now it is your duty to learn as much as possible, simple way. Don't spend days and weeks and months together. By learning all these things, it is not that you are going to go to the heaven. But we have to create the heaven here in this world. There is no heaven above the sky, no hell below the earth. Everything is here. We create our own heaven and we create our own hell, and God is not a judge. God is not an inspector general of police. God is the Sakshi Bhava, the nature itself, does everything for the individual consciousness, social consciousness, and cosmic consciousness, which we will explain later. With these words, I would like to express my pranams to you. Thank you very much.